the paramedic service is actually very well prepared. They all have naloxone. The most important thing when they get on site is actually ventilation as well as oxygen. But I think what we heard loud and clear today was that the issue is, in many instances, the people sitting, that are there when somebody's overdosed do not feel comfortable calling 911. And that is a concern around the police showing up and getting into criminal issues. So we're hoping that the Good Samaritan law that's going through the federal government will come through. That will be of some help. We also need to look at the different protocols locally between EMS or paramedics and police. So it's not enough just to have the paramedics ready. They're ready. It's what the people who are standing right there when somebody's overdosing needs to be ready. They need to be educated and have naloxone ready and not be afraid then to call 911. I just want to go back.
That, for example, because that precise example was used as to whether other first responders should have naloxone, and it was said that that was not the case, that the priority, for example, when the fire department are often the first to arrive, should be on ventilation, as Dr. Yaffe just said. But let me just say this about the budget. When it comes to saving lives in this manner, we are obviously going to take a look at what has been submitted by the Board of Health as the Budget Committee and soon the Executive Committee and the City Council are looking at every aspect of the budget. And I'm standing here today to say that we want to save lives and we want to take the steps that are necessary and practical to do so in this and other areas. And so that's all a very important part, a crucially important part of what the budget process is all about. A big community. What's the one thing that often stands in the way of effective dealing with it? It's different protocols people have, different ways they collect information, different information they have, and the whole idea of this partnership, and I commend those who pulled it together before I got involved, is to get everybody around the table so you can start to produce numbers, that they're collected in a common fashion, that they have protocols that are well agreed upon so that when things get worse, if they do, hopefully not, but when they do, that we actually can deal with this as opposed to sort of saying, oh my goodness, this person didn't tell me that, or we have a different system here. This is what causes people to lose their lives, quite literally.
Public health has been teaching millions of people to do this since September 2011. Never shake anyone at their shoulders if they're found down unconscious on the ground. Might be a spine injury. God. And then they got to do this. On a nice cyanotic blue background, that's the color of your skin, dying, lack of oxygen. It's rescue breathing first for any of the hundreds of causes of breathing emergency. The signs of drug overdose mimic any breathing emergency. And they tell you to do this. Never, ever, ever. There's hundreds of causes of breathing emergency, and the signs are the same as drug overdose. It's rescue breathing. ASAP. Your tax dollar going around teaching millions of people how to kill everybody, and it's happening to mostly non-drug overdoses. This recovery position can be dangerous. Anyone under-oxygenated. Every cell, tissue, and organ is dying oxygen deprivation. These guys knew it was murder right from the very beginning. A 5-year-old child knows you got a breathing emergency. That's what it is. It's a breathing emergency. Don't be pounding on a beating heart. That'll kill you. Your tax dollar teaching millions of people how to kill doctors and everyone else that has a breathing problem. This has been known about for thousands of years. Breathing emergencies. There's over 50,000 poisonings per year in this province. 28,000 of them are children. Doesn't matter what poisoning, what drug, it's rescue breathing. There's nothing wrong with your heart if it's a breathing emergency. God, parents are killing their own children, and parents are committing suicide after they find out they killed their own children. There was a man on the Danforth picked up a gun and shot 9 people because somebody forgot to give his brother rescue breathing. I told Public Health back in 2011 I was the 20th person to take this training. Somebody's going to come in here with a gun, shoot all your staff, and the judge is going to let them go because the judge just said, I would have done the same thing. Taught me how to murder my child. You guys are crazy, you know that, eh? And they even tell you when you take the training, it says, Well, he's turning blue from lack of oxygen. He's not breathing very good. Now start pounding on their heart. And they do it. The doctor told me to do it, so I do it, and I tell my friends to do it too. Doug Ford, the Ministry of Health, is a bunch of mass murderers. And you know how hard it is to train somebody once they've been trained? Retrain them? They don't even know who they are. They've been published in the newspapers to pound on a beaten heart. Post-traumatic stress was fire department, EMS, and the police, because they're showing up to calls all the time. People giving chest compressions. They were alive because the doctor told them to. It's happening to me all the time. Showing up, parents are giving their children chest compressions, having a seizure or choking or knocked unconscious. And what the hell are you doing? Your child is alive, needs oxygen. Rescue breathing. Over 1 million people taken to the hospital in Ontario per year with a breathing emergency. There's less than 15,000 out of hospital cardiac arrests per year in this province. And cardiac arrest generally happens to somebody 40 years old and up, with overweight with heart disease. Mass murdering crazy people. And they all make themselves sick because every nurse knows, holy shit, they're murdering everyone. 1,000 doctors went to the legislature, signed a letter, and had to sit down with Kathleen Wynne, told her to stop murdering everybody. Still doing it.